Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Chad Wesley Smith here for the Juggernaut Training Systems YouTube channel, joined as always by my assistant, Marisa Inda. And today we're going to be talking to you about the feet up bench press, how to do it, why to do it, and when to do it. But before we get into that, as always, our videos here on the Juggernaut Training Systems channel are brought to you by the Juggernaut AI app. So you can get a 2-week free trial, get the smartest program for you, 4.9 star rated with thousands and thousands of reviews in the app stores. It's going to customize based on your gender, age, height, weight, strength, experience, weak points, how much do you sleep, how much do you eat, are you trying to gain weight, lose weight, what's your stress like, all that different stuff it takes into account. And now with our 2.5 update, it does it better than ever. So visit the link down in the description or visit juggernautai.app and get a 2-week free trial. So feet up bench press, how to do it. From here up, exactly like regular bench press. All that's going to change is instead of your feet being on the ground, now you can just put them up on the bench press. So a couple different ways that people will do this. Some people will call it a Larson press to have their legs straight out. I personally don't like that way because my legs weigh like 100 pounds each, and for them to hang off the edge of the bench, they put me in a lot of lumbar extension that gets kind of uncomfortable. So I like to put my feet on the end of the bench press. Now, the whole goal with this exercise is to eliminate leg drive. So could you still get leg drive with your feet on the end of the bench press? Yes. My feet barely fit onto the edge of the bench press, so I don't really have an issue with that. You're just gonna have to be disciplined in avoiding pushing with your feet and your hips coming off the bench at all. I would not suggest putting your feet up in the air, though you will see people do this for feet up bench press as well. That's gonna create kind of unnecessary stability. And yeah, there's less stability in feet up bench press than there is with feet on the ground, but we don't want to be pressing in such an unstable way that it's creating too much of a reduction in the weight that we can use. And the more unstable your body feels, the less force it's actually going to produce. So feet on the end of the bench press is a good way to do it. You want to make sure that you're still setting your upper back in the same way that you would for regular bench press. So the arch isn't going to be as drastic because you just aren't going to be able to do that without your feet on the ground, but upper back setup, grip, everything else identical to regular bench press. So how to do the feet up bench press? Very simple. Just put your feet up on the bench, and it's like a regular bench press. The kind of changes there are going to be sort of built in just by the change in foot position. So why to do it? So with that change in foot position and the lack of leg drive, it's going to put that much more stress on your chest and demand on your chest to lift the weight. So it's a great exercise for addressing off the chest weakness, where your pec strength is going to play a big role. So the stronger your pecs get, the better you'll become off the chest. It's also a great tool to use as a kind of reduction in intensity. You can't do as much weight in feet up bench press as you can with your feet down on the ground. So, maybe you bench press 300, or you can do a set of 5 with 300. So that's about 85% of your regular competition bench press. But in the feet up bench press, maybe 265 is a hard weight for a set of 5. 85 to 90% of their competition bench press is probably what they can do in the feet up bench press. Results may vary there, but you can still give yourself a challenging training session, particularly if you're trying to bench more frequently. If you're trying to bench 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times a week, 1 or 2 of those sessions being feet up bench press can be a great option because you're still getting good stimulus through a pretty specific pattern, but the reduction in intensity is serving as a fatigue management mechanism. Also, if you have a big arch in the bench press, you're really getting chest up to the sky, maybe be able to drive a bus underneath your low back, that can certainly start to interfere with your squat and deadlift training, and your low back's just feeling tight, feeling stressed. So because you can't get that same setup in the feet up bench press, it's going to serve as fatigue management to benefit your squat and deadlift training. And if you're trying to be the best powerlifter you can be, that means the biggest total. So the squat, bench press, and deadlift all need to work together. And then when would you want to use the feet up bench press? It can be used in any phase, but will be for a little bit different reasons throughout different phases. So in a hypertrophy phase, yeah, it's going to be a good exercise to help, build chest and front delt hypertrophy. And if you struggle with off the chest weakness, it's going to have some benefit there, but it also really lends itself to more high frequency training and less interference with squatting and deadlifting. So when you're squatting and deadlifting, high volumes, high frequencies in a hypertrophy phase, getting 1 or 2 of your bench press sessions to be feet up, maybe feet up regular grip and feet up close grip, or feet up wide grip and feet up regular grip, as 2 sessions throughout the week can be a good option for you there. So everything can keep working in harmony all together. As you get to a strength phase, now the weak point addressing benefits of the feet up bench press, addressing the weak point of off the chest, is going to be a good option for you. So maybe that's 1 of your bench press sessions throughout the week. Maybe you mix variations into the same session. You do competition grip for 5 or 6 sets, and then you do feet up for 2 or 3 sets on top of that. It's still going to have the fatigue management benefits. So, if you are trying to bench more frequently, let's say maybe 4 times a week during a strength phase, 3 of those being feet on the ground variations, maybe 2 days of comp bench, 1 day of close grip, 2 board, and then 1 day of feet up. You're going to kind of train a wide swath of abilities there, get a lot of good work in, but reduce the fatigue compared to doing like all 4 sessions as competition bench press or other really highly mechanical overloading type of variations, like something like a board press where you're reducing the range of motion because you just can't go as heavy in the feet up bench press. Then when you get to peaking, yeah, it could still have feet up, could still have the benefit of addressing the weak point of weakness off the chest, but now it's going to be more based in the fatigue management properties. That's going to give you a little bit extra exposure to bench press pattern, and like I said, it's the same from the waist up as regular bench press, but it is going to help manage fatigue through using a lighter weight. So it can definitely be a benefit to you there. So hopefully now you know a little bit more about how to do feet up bench press, why to do them, and when to do them. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to visit the link down in our description to get a 2-week free trial of the Juggernaut AI app, and then it can prescribe you your feet up bench presses at the most perfect, scientifically robot-driven, derived times. Thanks for watching.